is we would just go ahead and then each one make a comment. If somebody wants to comment on something or has a question about a picture, they're feel free to do it. But if you want to know details, let's wait till at the very end. We can always go back and talk about it later.
Okay.
I don't mind going late. I mean, the last one lasted past 10:30 last time, so that's just too late. Yep. Now, if we're just sitting here, we've done this till 11 o'clock at some point in times, but a lot of it is sitting around BSing. Okay, and so it's a lot more fun if you're just BSing than trying to get something done. It just takes too long. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't think anybody else is going to come in. Share my screen.
Okay.
What?
Maybe everybody doesn't realize you're doing it because Tim and...
I already told them that at the very beginning. Oh.
Yeah, I sure wish you put an A in that portrait.
How to get rid of that. There we go. If anybody hasn't heard, I'm doing this because Ken and Tammy are OD. They're out there somewhere. Let me tell you, this was a very hard judging competition. We had a lot of ins and outs and tiebreakers and some great images, some really good images this time. Kind of hard to decide and battled it out. So I'm kind of anxious to see what everybody's comments are. Okay, there we go.
Can I ask a favor, John?
Sure.
This is just me being kind of anal retentive, but for years now, I've looked at this pictorial thing here, and it says it does not have to portray truth or reality. Can we correct the spelling on that, please?
I'm going to do away with all these verbiage stuff anyway. So if we don't know it by now, then we're. Yes, I have it recording.
That'd be great.
Okay, who wants to start?
Okay.
What the heck? God, I gotta go through this again. I gotta remember not to use my mouse because every time I click my mouse shuts down Lightroom, and I have to go back in and restart the slideshow every time.
Did you say your mouse does it?
My mouse does it, yeah.
Your mouse?
I have not figured out how to turn it off. I have it set on manual.
Mouse or your mouth?
But it's like 12 slides per category, so this one is Paso de la Muerta. You might want to comment?
I guess I'll start. I can start.
Go.
I really enjoyed this image. I think it's nicely cropped. I don't get a whole lot of noise in the background. The exposure is terrific. It tells a story, which, as you guys all know, I'm a sucker for that. I just think it's really a terrific image. Everything seems to be sharp, particularly given that the animals are moving quickly and there's a lot going on. I just think it's beautifully handled.
It's,
who the maker is on it?
Patrick Murray.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really nicely done.
Because you only get one chance at it, and that's it.
Do you guys want to hear the scores or not?
Yeah. Yes.
It scored a 19. This one is Chestnuts on Via, I can't hardly see it, Via Titina, Rome.
All right, I can go with it if you want,
John.
I like the story it's telling. I like it. Almost looks like the three figures in the foreground. It looks like a composite almost to me, because they are so sharp and they stand out so well. Everything there in that foreground just really looks great. The looks on their faces. I'm a little distracting with the people back there, but you can't do anything about that. But it really, really is well done. I like the scene. Who's the maker on it?
This is Trish Stone, also scored 19.
Yeah, Trish, I really thought these three people just popped right out of the picture.
That's an iPhone shot.
Did you have it set on 3D settings?
No, actually, it's an old iPhone. That was my iPhone 6.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's real sharp.
Mm-hmm.
This was this one boat in the fog. I really liked this image because you see the line of the pier or whatever this is. I guess it's a docking station for the boats where they line up and stuff, but it's in the fog and it's really cool. It's got the line that leads you out to the boat. You got dark poles hanging in there. They're going north and south, and everything goes at an angle. And the thing, it's really a good image. I really liked it. The maker was Steve Manchester, and it scored a 20. And we had an in and out, and it was out, so it ended up as an honorable mention. But it's a really good image. I really liked it, Steve. It's a nice image.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Who was the maker on it?
Steve Manchester.
Yeah, really
Nice
well
job,
done.
Steve.
Well done, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
Bird watching.
And this one's for me. I think it's a fun story. I really wish that the bird wasn't quite cut off at the end. I think it's nicely exposed. I wish there weren't quite so much shadow on the side of the dog's face, but I think it's a great story. It's nicely handled in general. You don't get too much background distraction or anything like that. Yeah, I think my only problem is that bird being really tight at the bottom. But beyond that, I think it's just nicely handled. Who did this?
This is Tammy. I think this was similar to one that we had last month at a different angle.
Yeah.
Of a bird and a dog. And I think that the problem I had with it was that when it said bird watching, I was looking at the guy, and the guy is looking off to the side.
Right.
And
right.
It looks like there's cypress knees on the side over there. And I got to look at him going, where's the bird? I didn't see the bird at the bottom at first. And I think it's
so
because
the title was a little misleading for you.
Yeah. Oh God. It's too close. It's too close at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it is
I wish it weren't cropped so tight at the bird.
If it had been cropped down some. I made a mistake of touching my screen. Sorry.
Don't point at the screen with your finger then, John. Come on now. No, I agree. I think there's a really good picture, but I think it would have been more of an impact cropped down where it was just the dog's face and the bird down in there. The person standing there looking off really doesn't add to the story.
Right.
It's just between the dog and the bird. So
it's kind of like the man is kind of distracting to me, and it scored. What did it score? It only scored at 17.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem.
I think if it had been cropped, it would have scored higher.
Yeah.
Oh, I would agree. Because I think that he is distracting.
Yeah, but how can you crop him out?
You'll
see his legs if you cropped.
And that's okay if it's just legs, because we know what's behind him. It's a person. So
I think the bird would have showed up more prominently if it had been cropped.
It's cropped too tight on the bird.
Closer to the dog.
Yeah.
This one's called Acting Silly.
And these guys are definitely doing that. They're welcoming you to the visitor center, tongue out and making faces at you. Once again, another shot where the two bison are just popping right out at you, and good contrast. You know, there the lighting is just right. I think it's a fun photo. Who's the maker?
This is Charles Freeman. It scored 19. I got a chuckle out of it because I looked at this and I'm going, God, it's a really great photo. And then I saw the tongue sticking out.
Then you saw the
It's like,
tongue, yeah.
yeah, it's like you're sitting there going. So I just thought it was really cool. It's a very good image. Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on. This one is unused room. And this is kind of, I knew who this was right away because it's a typical picture. But it's very, I like the idea. You got good lines, good angles leading into the corner down to this almost like the assignment shot maybe for a household item. But you can actually see through the windows. You can see what's outside. Very good detail. My only comment about it is I would have cropped it down to remove that top window and just showed that the lines leading down into the corner, maybe cropped it just right below that window or right at the frame or something. But it's an excellent image and I really liked it. And it is this is a Peter Florzak picture and it was second place.
Yeah.
Good
It was
job,
one of
Peter.
my favorites. I love all the texture in it.
Yeah,
Too. It's
great
really,
texture.
yeah, very eye-catching.
Is Peter still here?
He looks frozen down there at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
We love it, Pete. You're there.
It's the jail.
No, I just wonder where it was. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's the jail out in whatever that place is, the Cuero.
Cool.
Or
Is this my turn?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Small church steeple.
This for me, this image took my breath away. The color, the angle, and the lighting, the lines, everything about this photograph for me is fantastic. It's sharp as a tack. There's so much drama in that sky, but we don't let it take over the image. Whoever shot this did not let it take over the image. That beautiful glow coming in from the right-hand side. All the detail is there. I couldn't find anything about this image that I didn't love.
Yeah, I agree.
Who shot this image?
Me.
John, it's fantastic.
Yeah, John, nice.
Yeah, it's
This
fantastic.
is actually first place, by the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Scored 23. Now this is
That-
it's a little Catholic church. It's a little Catholic church in a little town outside of Phoenix, Arizona. And the sky to this place was just, I actually have a whole front shot of the building as well. I liked it because the way the sun was shining on the bell in the tower.
Yeah.
That's why I cropped it down to do just this corner
Yep.
instead of having the whole front shot. So
Yeah. It was a good choice. It's fantastic. I mean, when I saw this image Tuesday night, I caught my face on the screen as I saw it. And I thought, the first thing that crossed my mind was I will never be a poker player because my eyes went, wow, when I saw this image. It's just fantastic.
Absolutely.
thank you.
So,
Well, just I'm sorry, a question, John. It looks like the sun's behind it,
Yeah,
the church.
it's actually off to the right a little
yeah,
bit.
it's off to the right.
Oh, is it? Okay, but is something reflecting light onto the front of the church there, or is that?
It is the back of the sign. There's a sign out front that says this is such and such a church, and it was built in 1800 or whatever, and it's white on the back side. It's actually metal, and it's catching the sunlight reflecting back on the front of the building,
Yeah, oh, okay.
which was
Oh,
kind of
nice.
cool. And what I
Yes.
what I didn't understand, what I never figured out was you can see the shadow on the left side of the tower.
Mhm.
I don't know where that's coming from.
No.
But and I looked at the whole picture of the whole building, it's still there. So anyway, thank you all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Very nice, John. Nice job.
Eric, this is yours, I think.
All right. Well, this gentleman is having some fun playing. Cute as can be. The bear, I'm kind of thinking I may know who this belongs to, but I'm not gonna jump too far down there. But really do love the picture. I would have liked to have either seen all the roof or have it cropped in, just a little distracting up there. But what can you say about pictures about kids? That's the best photo subject you can have in the world, because they're always precious and doing something fun. Who's the maker?
This is Jack Smith.
Yep.
Hey, your grandson, Jack?
Scored a 17. My only comment about it was I wish the boy was looking at the person taking the picture, and the fact that it doesn't look quite level. Other than that, I mean, it's a good image of the boy, and I love the fact that, you know, I don't know what's in his hand, but he looks like he's trying to push the door open or something. But it's a very good image.
Yeah, he's a cute kid. I love those cheeks.
Yeah, that is my grandson, Ethan, when he was a lot younger. And of course, I had to sneak the bear in. That's what caught my eye when I was going through my pictures. I thought, okay, it's a sneaky way to get a bear picture in there.
Yeah, we can't. I'm like Eric. I kind of figured that was probably yours because of the bear, but
Yeah.
We're not sure.
Pretty subtle, Jack.
Yeah.
But it's called Backyard Discovery because if you notice on the little playhouse, that's what it's titled.
Oh, cool.
Right down the lower right.
Oh, way down.
I never even looked down there to see that. You know, okay, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
How many points was that?
That was 17.
Okay, thanks.
This is an outstanding image. I really liked this one. I think this was probably my favorite image of all of them. Was the wine flowing into glass, the angle of the glass, the wine coming basically straight down. It's a rosé. It could be red. It would have been better if it was red. I'm not a rosé drinker, but could even be strawberry cola. So for all I know, but it's still a very good image. Great lighting. I like the rim light on it. How that you got the light, circular light in the background, and you've got the light that shines on the glass itself. Is very well done. And this is one of Eric's pictures. And I know when I saw this because I had seen this before.
No wine was injured. Yeah.
Yeah, no wine was injured. It's because he posted that on Facebook, I think.
Yeah, I did.
So, and I really liked it then too. So.
Yeah, it's actually just red watercolor.
Yeah. Okay.
Really? Is that all it is?
Yeah, that's just red. I put about 15 drops of red watercolor in a bucket, and I was pouring from a measuring cup into it. I have it attached actually to a another tripod. I actually have a tripod mount that's a circle that I taped the wine glass to and attached it to the tripod, and it's over a bigger, one of those big square bins or whatever to capture any spills.
Nice.
Great idea. I was wondering how you got that glass to sit like that unless you were holding it.
Yeah, that's me too.
You have to hold that, pour water, and take the picture at the same time.
Right. I'll take a picture of the rig and send it to everybody so they can see it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'd appreciate it. That was third place, by the way, score of 20. Yeah. And it was the end of the in and outs with Steve. So, Steve, you can blame Eric for that one.
I do, totally. I think his is better than mine anyway, though. Looks good.
All right, Trish, you're good.
Okay, this looks like Rodeo Clowns. And
Danger Close is what it's called.
Pardon?
Danger Close.
Yeah, Danger Close is a good title. Yeah, I love this capture of the bull. I think it's again a great storytelling piece. I wish I could see some faces. I'm not sure you control anything like that, but I think that's great. I wish I saw a little more, and it might just be me, a little more clarity in the like in the hoof, but there's so much action going on there, so much movement that I understand why you don't. I would like a little more clarity on that bull, but I think this is a great action shot. Colors are bright, and I love that. It makes it pop. Who's the maker on this?
This is Tim Kirkland, and it scored 19.
Yeah.
I liked it because I thought, I agree with you that there's no faces showing. It's kind of hard to, when you're shooting rodeo, to capture faces unless you just happen to get a certain angle or something. But I like the white dot above the eye of the bull. It almost looks like an evil bull because it's got that evil eye look.
He's got his horns down right at that guy. That looks evil enough for me.
I know.
That looks like that guy's going to have serious injury.
Yeah. He means business.
It's very good.
I agree.
Balloon interior.
Balloon interior. Yeah, this is a great photo. I mean, the colors are just fantastic on this. You'd almost, even though this is laying down like this, I at first, as we scanned through them real quick, I thought it was a reflection of something. I wasn't sure, what it was going to be, but just I thought that was a reflection down on the bottom. But once we actually got to judge it, but yeah, I do love the colors, love the sharpness. The light is just right for bringing out that color up there at the top of it. I don't mind the bottom part being dark. Really great image. Who's the maker?
Dick Boone. This scored 19.
Very nice, Dick. Really nice shot.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I really like the lines kind of draw you to that little bullseye part of the balloon. I just think it's fantastic. And the fact that it's not dead center, I think is also a plus.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, really nicely composed.
It's not very seldom that you get to go inside a balloon when they're trying to blow it up.
That's what I'm wondering. It must be awfully hot in there.
Well, you didn't let me go in now.
Yeah, you can stand outside with a long lens and shoot the back. So I got to go inside of one when I did something like this. I got to go inside, but I had to take my shoes off and you could only wear socks to walk in there. So, but it's just kind of a cool idea to take a picture of the balloon blowing up.
Beautiful.
Cool. And it's a cool looking balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the old time maps that they had back in 1400s and stuff like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That detail sort of.
Because I first saw it, I said it's a picture of a kaleidoscope, but then you get to look at it. It's pretty cool. Good job. This one is, who is that masked photographer? Well, it's Tammy. That's who it is. I know. It's a good picture of her. It's nice. It's well aligned and how it all of this. My only problem with this picture is it's just too bright, too overexposed.
Too hot.
Yep.
And just too many hot spots. I think if it had been maybe cropped down a little bit, adjusted more on the exposure to darken it some, to take out some of the highlights, it would have been a great image. So that's my only comment. And other than that, it's, well done. Just, I think it could be some more post-processing.
I agree.
I'd like to know what kind of the stuff is sitting on. She's got one of those eyepieces on the top of that side of that camera. Is that what it is? Oh, I know what it is. It's one of those viewers that fit over the screen on the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just realized that. Okay. I had that on my Nikon once. Huh. Cool. Anyway, good image. That scored a 16. I don't know if anybody caught all this, but if you listen to the scores, I mean, between the three of us, we scored almost every picture the same.
Yeah, I noticed that last night. I could tell by the numbers that showed up. It was pretty consistent, the scoring, all the way across.
The ones that were, any of them that really stood out really got good scores, but they had to be a really good image. And there were some really good images too. And there was some monochrome, I think is probably that one. And I don't remember what the other one was, but I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting my score sheet apart. Okay, move on. All right, who's up? Oh, Tammy's up. Or Trish is up. Okay, go for it.
Okay.
This is called The Kiss.
I think it's a lovely shot. My biggest complaint about it, well, is that I think it's just way dark on the couple. And then we have these, and I'm guessing it's vignetting, but I find the white vignetting on the edges for me very distracting, probably because the center is so dark. I think it's not a bad pose or anything like that. I just really wish this were not quite so dark. I can't see any of her facial features because it's so dark. Just my thoughts.
Okay, that's Tammy. And it scored a 16. Yeah, I agree. The white vignette is very distracting from the picture. And generally, during a wedding, when you're taking a picture of the kiss, you don't do it from an angle. You do it from straight. You do it from straight on. So primarily, you want to get the embrace, which would be the arms, and that's where it is. You're just going to have the head down to like the bottom of the arms, and it would have to be lighter. I know she did it in a black and white, which is fine, but it needs some more adjustment and some more to bring out the more light, I guess, exposure, or more light on the subject to begin with. So I don't know how it was taken, but
yeah, for me, that could be anybody. I can see none of her features. That could be any woman at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, and that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
What about cutting off some of the top? Would that help?
Sure, I agree. It can afford to lose some of the top because there's just nothing there that adds anything to the photograph.
Yeah.
And,
I think cutting it to a square and then lightening, adjusting that exposure to bring out some of the details in the shadows.
I agree.
Would have made it a stronger image.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Buzzard Roost.
I had fun with this image. This was really cool. These guys are just waiting, and that moon up there, giving a little silhouette behind them, is really it was appropriately creepy in all the right ways. So I liked the fact that all three of them and the tree and everything is just silhouetted. There's no detail. I don't want any detail from this shot. And the clouds give the variation of the grays, and we've got the bright white of the moon behind it. Who's the maker on it?
This was Tim Kirkland, 17. My only real comment was I really like the silhouette and all that, but maybe take a little bit off some of the top and put the moon closer to the corner so it's like shining down on them or something, maybe almost like an 8x10 or 11x14 type size. Yeah. But no, I really like the silhouette. Very good. In my monochrome pictures, this was my favorite, I think.
Is it my turn?
No, it's my turn.
Good.
I know, and by looking at the score sheet, no, it's not your turn. It's my turn. It took me a while before I understood the image, but it's called oyster gills. And
those are oyster mushrooms.
They're oyster mushrooms, I know. But they do look like gills, fish gills. So, but oysters don't have gills. So, but I mean, it's just I like the color. I like the tonal ranges, the detail in the lines going up of the gills of the mushrooms, and the edges of the mushrooms. You've got just enough of a background out of focus to give you an idea that they're growing off of something or out of something, probably coming off a tree or a stump. But it's an excellent image. And I know I gave it a good score. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, I liked it too, a lot.
Yeah, this was Trish Stone. And it took third place with a score of 21. So excellent picture, Trish.
Yeah, well done, Trish.
Yes,
That was growing out of a place at the market at Pearl. They've got a grower there that brings in all of these mushrooms you can grow. And they've got these things that they've got these mushrooms growing on. You can buy this whole thing of mushrooms like this. And you can buy the things to grow them yourself like this. My sisters actually are doing that, are growing mushrooms at home. I just think they're fascinating.
You don't find these very often.
Pardon?
You don't see these very often.
Mm-mm. Not in this part of the country. You don't see oysters much at all.
Yeah. I saw them up in Illinois and Missouri area, but no, I don't think I've ever seen you in Texas.
I remember seeing those when I was a kid.
Now it's my turn, right?
Now it's your turn.
Now it's your turn.
Well, there's a couple things I really love about this image. I love how what's really should be tack sharp is, and what really should be just a wash is also. I love that the depth of field on this is very narrow. I love this line that comes in from the left and draws your eyes to this, puff ball thing. I love the dark seeds against the bright white, but you don't lose any detail. There's no crazy hot spot. That's the thing about shooting something like this where so much light comes through. It's very easy to get a hot spot, and I just think this is really nicely handled. I might have cropped a little teeny bit more off the right side, but I think this is great. I love this image.
This was Steve Manchester.
Yeah, it's really lovely, Steve.
It scored a 20. So I thought it would be great as a square.
Yeah, not exactly. I could see that. Yeah, just take that little bit off the right, and you have a score.
Grab it maybe from the right,
great.
from the lower right corner, and bring it on up. Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Very good.
I wanted to touch it when I saw it. I wanted to run my hands right across the little wispy part on the top. It's just great.
Thank you again.
That's for all you people who like to get out and roam around and do stuff. It's not in my backyard. You don't get a picture from me. So, but it's a great picture, Steve. Well done.
Is that a dandelion seed? Is that what that is? A dandelion going to seed?
No, those are that's a milkweed.
Milkweed.
Oh,
yeah,
for the butterflies. I should have known that. Okay.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those growing in the backyard.
That's great.
Thank you.
Accordion player.
Right. Well, I love this image. So many images in everything we've seen tonight just pop off the screen, and this guy certainly pops off here and just comes off the screen and is playing for you in your house. I like the shadow across his face, even with those the sun coming through on his face. I think it's appropriate because you can tell it's more of a outside shot because it is fairly bright, but nothing's blown out. That's what I love about it, and the detail on the accordion is really just tack sharp and beautiful everywhere. So who's the maker?
It's Peter Forzak.
Yeah, I figured it was Peter's.
This is one of Peter's HDR black and whites, which are so cool.
And I think that HDR really brings that depth to this. I think it's fantastic, and I also love that background has been darkened out, almost polarized, and I think it really, like Eric says, makes this pop.
Good job,
and
Peter.
It was
actually it's not an HDR.
It's not.
Oh, we just lost him.
Oh.
No, he said he said it's not an HDR.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Like he said, because it looks like it is, and I think it looks.
It really
great.
does. It really does.
Yeah.
He just overprocessed it. Never mind. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's first place.
Yeah, it's really great.
Very nice.
It scored a 23, and then it went in for an in and out, or not. Actually, had to go for a I guess it went for a rescore. I don't know. Anyway, ended up first place.
Well done, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's called Elk Chew, and it took me a while to figure out what this was.
Aspen trees, right?
Yeah, it looks like giraffe necks.
Yeah.
I'm going. You have an elk chewing on giraffe necks.
A random collection of giraffe necks.
Just growing up out of the middle in a bunch of weeds out in the woods. But I was trying to figure out what kind of trees they were, and I guess they're aspens, but I'm not.
They are.
But is that what they are? You sure?
They look like aspen trees have been marked by elk or moose, or that's what it looks like.
Well, the only thing, the middle one at the very bottom looks like it's been chewed on. So yeah. I figured that's what the title is, was the elk chew, was that. But maybe the others are there. I figured those might be rut marks. So I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a great photo. My only problem of it is when I figured it says elk chew, was at the very bottom, you can see where it looks like it's been chewed on, but that whole tree stalk or tree trunk is blurry.
The one in the middle?
One in the middle.
Yeah. That was my only problem.
If that's the focal point and the title of the picture, that should not be blurry. So, but other than that, I thought it was a very interesting picture with some unique designs and unique trees. But again, I thought it was giraffes when I first looked at it.
It looks more like a gap to me than a tree in the dead center.
Could be. Yeah. Never know. And
a gap, not a tree. Because if
it's Patrick Murray's picture, down, he's not here, so
you'll see that it's a gap.
No, I think that's a tree dead center, and that it's
right.
The focus was on the trees that were deeper back, that were further back.
No, I want to say, because if you look, there's the piece of grass that comes up. So there's the true trees on the left and right, and there's the piece of grass that comes up from that. So that tree that's dead center, it's an optical illusion, is actually behind.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yes,
you're right.
But if you look at it just right, because the way the trees are symmetrically or whatever, it either is in front of us or behind us. It's a kind of an optical illusion if there's not that piece of grass there to tell us it's behind.
You're right.
I'll change my score and up at 1 point.
Because you know what? When I scoot my chair back, I can see that. When I sit,
I just when he says it's an optical illusion, and that is the great. Yeah, it is. It's the furthest away tree. In fact, there's Patrick right there.
That's wild.
Man, I just did it again. I had to go let Patrick in, and I had to get you back out. But,
hello, everybody.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. We were just talking about your picture. Of the giraffe trees.
Yeah, that is called elk chew.
Yeah, elk chew.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
That's what it's called, is elk chew. But we were trying to figure out that, because to me, when I first looked at the picture, it looked like giraffe necks.
Uh-huh.
And it was trying to figure out, well, what kind of trees are they supposed to be? And if the chew marks are the marks on the tree, are they chew marks? Are they rut marks? Or what kind of marks? But I guess you called it chew. Then we had a discussion about the center tree was blurry. But it turns out that that's not the center tree. Eric pointed out that's an optical illusion because it is the tree that is the furthest away. So anyway, it was a big discussion. It was a big discussion on it. So you came in just at the right time. And are they aspen trees?
They are. They're aspen trees. This is in Rocky Mountain National Park.
I knew it.
And the elk chew on the trees at the base of the trees. for something. I don't know what they get out of it, but that's what the guide told me. We had a guide. He was taking us around, and he pointed this out, and it was just such a weird looking kind of a feature, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, they're aspens.
Okay. That just because I thought they were giraffe necks, but that's.
And sorry I'm late. I got tied up with something else, and I jumped.
That's all right. We just did Bonacro. We haven't missed much so far. So, in fact, we're almost done. Let's see. Who did? Oh, I did that one. Who's next? Trisha's next, right?
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. I had trouble, and I'm still having trouble, seeing whether or not the top of this bird is clear. And that's where I got stuck on this image. I love the composition. I love that background is blurred, very simple. That chain where the bird is at is, you know, clearer as it gets closer. It's got a very, very narrow depth of field, so it very quickly runs out of focus. I see some of the feathers seem to be very in focus. I think the exposure's fine, although there is a little bit of, you know, hot spot toward, you know, kind of the neck area on the bird. But I had a little bit of trouble because I feel like the head is blurry. I don't know if anybody else had that issue.
No.
No, to me, I did.
I did too.
And I actually went and looked at this in Lightroom earlier today as I was building the slideshow. And you notice that the part of the chain in the first part is very sharp and clear.
Right, and then quickly drops
up
off.
to his feet are, then his feet aren't very clear, but then all of a sudden the feathers are clear and sharp. But then it goes to his head, and right around his eye is not sharp.
Right, that's the problem. And see, when we were looking at them Tuesday, because of the way we look at them, I can't blow the image up on my screen and really get up there close and look. So I was really struggling with that. I get the feeling this was shot with a macro lens, which has a super narrow depth of field. And, you know, where you can get, you know, where the beak might be in focus, but, you know, the breast that's a, you know, 1/8 of an inch closer to you isn't going to be. I don't know if that's the case. I love the composition. I think that's really fun. It's fantastic. I think it's really eye-catching.
You remember when I said, when I was talking about how I had to pick up my computer and move it closer to my face?
Yeah.
So I could get a view. This was the picture I started doing that on.
Yeah.
To see that, because that's what I saw too. I saw it looks like his eye is blurry.
Yeah.
And that should have been the focus, but it looks like the focus was actually on the chain. So I'm not sure. And Ken's not here. This is Ken's pictures, and he's not here to defend himself. But
I think the composition is really fun.
But I mean, it's a great picture. I like the composition. Too. You're right. Yeah. So, okay. Oh, I'm trying to find it again. It's called Different Sitting Place, and it scored 17. This one is Stone Cold Lips.
So when this came up, it was very, very different from all the other pictures we had been getting into it, because obviously someone had, you know, seen. I don't know if this is a, you know, statue, you know, in their backyard or they went somewhere, but you know, definitely some type of stone or concrete work. I would have liked to have seen the upper lip looks a little less in focus than the lower lip. That's the only complaint I really had. And then just down in the bottom right was a little bit, I'm like, okay, is that brown down there? Is that, you know, so that was my only problem, was that it was, you know, possibly a, you know, picture taken in color, but looked black and white. So that was my only real issues with it.
Yeah, that was my issue, was the fact that because of that brown spot in the corner, it was not fully monochrome. I didn't see the focus issue, but I think it's really cool. It's almost like this was a much larger sculpture.
Right.
That somebody zoomed in real close to on their lips.
Right. And I like that.
Let's find out. This is Jack Smith's. scored an 18. Jack, is this?
Yes.
Where's this at? Or what is it?
It was in the backyard garden at my sister-in-law's home. It was a little statue that she had. And I did zoom in on just the lips there. So stone cold lips.
Yeah.
What kind of a lens did you use, Jack?
Boy, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's probably my 70-200 zoomed in at 200.
I like it.
You can really see the texture in the stone. That's really cool.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, very good. Trish, you take this one, and I'll take the next one.
Okay. All right. I remember seeing something like this when we had our educational night. So I'm assuming this is yours, John. I love this image. This is Denman Park. I love this super high contrasty look to it. I think that the pagoda looks really crisp. The reflection is terrific. I love that moon thrown in there behind the trees. I think you've done a nice job kind of diffusing the light around that, so it's not, you know, super bright and blown out. And I don't know if you've done this yourself, John, or if this was already part of what was in the image, but I love the little streaks of light that are over the pagoda. It's like the moonlight is still, you know, reflecting there. And I don't know if that was clouds from the daylight picture.
Yeah, those are clouds.
It's just really effective and fun to me. And I love the detail in all those tree branches, this high contrast effect that you've done, or this, you know, take your daytime, turn it into nighttime thing. I just think it makes every single line pop on this. It's like it's polarized, you know. I just think it's really great. I love it. It's a really fun image.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I did show this when we had the talk on turning night into day.
Yeah, I know. Just think it's great.
I did make a few adjustments to it because I thought what I had was a little bright. So I toned it down a little bit on the white railing on the front and on the bottom deck at the bottom. But no, those are clouds at the top, and all I did was added a star overlay and I put the moon in.
Yeah,
and then I turned it to black and white. So no, that is a fun technique, and I really like the fact that, you know, we learned how to do that. It takes a lot of playing. It's not just pushing buttons and clicking and turning something going from night into day. There's a lot of playing involved, but no, it's really cool. This is scored at 23. It lost an in and out to Mr. Peter Forzak. So this was actually second place. So
that's lovely.
Well done, John.
Nice to meet you, John.
Yeah, very nice.
I'll go ahead and do this one. And this is one of some of the famous flower pictures. I know exactly who took this again. As soon as it's getting to the point where we know everybody else's work. So it's kind of hard to judge and be subjective. But no, but the fact that it's really good, I like your tabletop work, and the fact that you can see the detail in the sunflowers, and how the depth of the picture laying on the side comes in. This is Clifton Bean wants to enter. I can't let him in because if I do that, I'll change the picture. But the detail and the texture of the wood, the texture of the petals on the flowers, the center, the fact that the picture is slightly out of focus, but it blends in as it gets closer to the flower. It gets sharpened, so it leads you into the flowers.
Right.
And it's a great image, and everybody knows right off the bat this is one of Eric's.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's just really good. There's another one of those. It actually lost I think something on the in and out because it scored a 20. A very good image though, Eric. I really like your tabletops.
Thank you.
Well done.
Eric, I think you have a real talent for staging your images. I mean, this is just beautifully laid out. It really is. And I think John's right about that sort of that slightly out of focus base. It just kind of leads you right down at that angle into that sharp tack sharp sunflower. It's just really terrific.
Appreciate it.
I need note cards. Get it done, buddy.
Yeah, get it done. I need to start working on this tabletop stuff. I don't, unfortunately, I got rid of all my lights and all my stuff, so I don't have them. I just got my little Lumicubes, and I have my light bars and stuff that I use. But to come up with the way he lights it,
yeah, it's just
wish I had something I could put a barn door on, and
yeah,
I need to learn some lighting techniques, really.
Are you able to get that guy in that's knocking?
The what?
There he is.
Oh, he is?
There's Clifton.
All right, cool.
Very good, Eric. Very good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Nice flowers.
We'll let you have this one.
All right, I'll take this one. I love this image. When it first just flashed by, it was really cool. Just the sharpness of those shadows of the people that are walking. It just tells a great story. I mean, you look at it and you just get drawn in, and it's like, well, where are they going? What are they doing? And you know, I want to be, outside with them and going wherever they're going, especially with all we've been dealing with. But yeah, and I like the angle of it. I would not have liked it just straight up and down or anything like that. I think the impact of the angle that they're walking at definitely adds to this. And it's a fantastic image. Who's the maker?
This was Dick Boone.
Great
Dick,
picture, Dick.
This was one of my favorite pictures of the night. I love all the detail in that brick. I think that Eric's exactly right about the angle of this completely changes the impact of this. And I think that your perspective shooting down on that with those tack sharp shadows, for me, it was one of the funnest and one of my favorites of the night. I just think it's this really great image.
This was a honorable mention. Scored a 21, and I guess it was a battle between this one and Steve Manchester's for third place. So Dick's lost, but still, it's an excellent image. I like the way the shadow on the stone and kind of separates the two different types of stone.
Right.
You have the crossed hatch herringbone pattern of the brick on one side, and you've got the straight lines where the people are actually standing, and you're back to the herringbone again. But then you have that dark shadow that almost breaks it out in between. It would have been a lot better if it had been right on the line, so that you would have seen the shadow separating the two styles of brick. There's just that one little spot where it doesn't, but it's still a great image. It's great image.
Absolutely. And Dick, you said this was taken down at the Pearl?
I was up in the parking garage up on the second floor, I think it is. And
nice.
These guys were down there, and they were walking along, and they were talking. As you see, the one guy's hand, his left hand is up, and what they were talking, and had their cell phones out, and this, that, and the other thing. And I took several of these images, and this was my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah. I love it.
It was what I thought was kind of cool was the guy on the far left looks like an ape. I mean, his arms
look so long, right?
Yeah, his arms look like they go all the way to his knees.
Yeah, me too.
The Sasquatch is real.
Yes.
The Sasquatch is real. Yeah, very good. Very good. I guess it's back to you, Trish.
Okay. I think I've seen this image before, but not in black and white. I love the lines. I wish the cross were just a shadow brighter. Personal preference. I feel like it's a little dark, but I love that that this background is not blown out. This is shot up against the sky. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that's on I-10 heading toward Bernie. And so this is somebody shooting this up against the sky. And I love that it's not blown out. And of course, it's super simple and clean. And so I think it has a lot of impact. I just would have liked it to be just a fraction lighter on cross, my personal preference. Who is the shooter? Is that Charlie?
Just Charlie, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I've seen this before for a different category. I haven't seen it in black and white. But
Yeah, I think the one he posted on Facebook was actually in color.
maybe that's where I saw it.
Yeah, that's Charles Freeman for anybody that doesn't know that. It scored a 20. So, yeah, I agree with, I don't necessarily agree, I guess, with the shadows of the cross, the darkness of the cross. I mean, it's compared to the sky. The fact that it's not blown out is what really makes this image.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe the shadow, but the shadow gives you your true blacks. It's the different shades of gray that adds to the picture. So, no, I think it's an excellent image.
Yeah, and the sharpness of the edges against that sky.
Oh, yeah.
Make it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely did some post-processing work on this puppy.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's
I mean,
great.
even if I remember the collar one was just as sharp. So,
Yeah.
very nice.
Excellent.
All right, now we move into the controversial catalog. We had a lot of controversy over this one last night, or the other night, because the score sheet didn't match the pictures, and we had to go through and readjust all the the numbers, and then we had a big controversy over the fact that the two pictures showed up with the exact same title, but two different pictures, but I didn't have one of the pictures. So anyway, I'll take this one, I guess. It's, I don't know where we are in the rotation, but I like this because it's a great picture of Devil's Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And the sky really makes it pop. The good detail in the rocks, the trees. It's just a fantastic picture. What threw me off was the title. The title of Bird Flying High. And then it goes, there's a speck on there. It's a dirt spot. No, it's a bird. I had to it would have been nice if you just said Devil's Tower. I think that would have been a great picture, and just call it that way. But to call it the bird, the high flying bird, and if you look at the eagle or hawk or whatever it is on the right hand side, it's very small, not very detailed, but it's still a great picture. This is a Charles Freeman picture. It actually came in second place.
Yeah.
And it competed for first, but it went out in and out. So
I at first thought it was a diorama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tower really pops out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've ever seen it, and it's just amazing. It's the fact that you've got this in the middle of nowhere. It just, there it is.
Drop from the sky.
Yeah, and there's a flying saucer on top coming in there from.
So the only thing I would have liked was a little more detail in the trees, personally.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of this dark, indescript. I can tell the trees up at the top, but I don't think it takes anything necessarily from the image. But I think it's fantastic.
They are a little dark, but I think that's okay because the detail in the rock itself really makes this pictures pop.
Yeah.
I don't think the trees would have enhanced it any at all.
Yeah.
But good, it's a great picture. Butterfly on a thistle flower.
Whose turn?
Whoever wants to guess, Eric. You want to take this one?
Yeah.
Get back in rotation.
Okay, we'll get back in rotation. So, love butterflies and flowers, obviously. Great shot, nice and sharp on the antenna, and just, you know, I wish I was out to be able to capture something like this myself. I love the greens, how it's all just nice and blown out, and it's not really. I like the fact that it's not a bunch of little circles back there like bokeh is expected to be. It's just a nice flat, you know, surface for this image to be against. So I really like the way this was handled. The colors all pop like they should. Who's the maker?
This was Dick Boone.
Good shot, Dick.
Score 18.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right, this is my turn. I love the perspective in this particular image. I love that you know, you've got this great vista behind you, but what really draws your eye in is the prickly pear cactus and all the little buds coming up. I think that's really, for me, fantastic. It is the image. I think it's exposed nicely. You know, the colors are bright, and I don't know that little bit of wispy cloud does anything for me at the top. But I don't know that I would have necessarily cropped this any differently either. Maybe a little lower. But I think that's about the only thing I can think of that I would maybe change on this. I think it's a nice image. Who's the maker?
This is Eric.
Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Eric, where is this at?
It's in Big Bend.
I love it. I'm going to get there one day, I promise.
I've sent Peter to go retake the picture. Is what's currently. You know.
Is that why he's out there? Okay.
No, that's why he's out there. He's not out there for himself. He's out
Yeah,
to
I'm
retake
just-
the picture for me.
I love the perspective on
Just a
this.
few miles from there. I'll retake this picture for you.
I appreciate that. I'll send you the GPS coordinates.
I'm hopefully going in April, so if I get out there, I'll try too.
Hey.
For me, like I said, this perspective where you kind of, the whole front end of this photograph is this cactus. And I just think it's great. It's a really great perspective.
And Eric, I'm sure Peter's already taken this picture before, but he'll redo it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he'll redo it again.
He probably could tell me where I was standing.
Exactly.
And what time of day it was,
Be my
too.
pleasure.
Yeah.
I guess this is my turn.
I think so.
I can go again. That way we can get back.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and go again.
Order. All right.
Because this is because I was going to say I could describe it, but I didn't score it.
Yeah. No. This this guy is making his presence known. He's nice and sharp. I mean, you can tell just directly from that eye being in perfect focus. But he's definitely letting everybody know that he's here and he's serious. I assume that means, John, you're the maker.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it just he's sitting on top of one of my big Christmas cactuses because he loves it. I don't know why, but the female was on the back of the chair.
Is that what he's doing here? Is trying to get her attention?
Yeah, he's that's what that's for. That
Yeah,
he
that's what it looks
attracts
like.
people.
Yeah.
He can't whistle, so he's doing the best he can.
Yeah. Now the thing of it is, they both look the same. You can't tell a male and a female anole apart. They're either brown or they're green, and depending on where they're standing, he's standing on green, so he looks green. The female was brown because she was on the back of a chair, but she doesn't have this little orange sac on the bottom. And you have to be able to look at it to tell the difference. But I love anoles, and I take pictures of them all the time, so they're just
Great shot.
You can't barely see it on this one, but you can see their eyes are actually blue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of neat.
There's a nice eye catch in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really nice.
Oh.
I love all the detail in him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those
it's pretty cool.
Scales.
Mm-hmm.
Whose turn is it? My turn?
Yes, your turn. So we're back in order now.
Okay. This one's called Dinner. Sea otter having dinner. As sea otters do, carry his food on his stomach as he swims along. It's a great image. I like how he's flowing with the water, going through the water's going by him, or he's going by the water, whichever. But it's the way the streaks are showing the flow. It's a good sharp image of it. I guess he's eating abalone. I can't really tell. That's what they eat, but it's just. I've never gotten a good picture of a sea otter, and this is a great picture of a sea otter, and I really like it.
Yeah.
This is Jack Smith's, and it scored a 19, and unfortunately it lost an out. It lost, so.
Nice image, Jack.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice. Where was this? Is this off the Oregon coast?
Oh, no, this is in Alaska, and even though I think it's an okay image, I want a better one. All the times I've been up there to Alaska, I haven't gotten the picture I want yet. So I'm going to hopefully get a better one when I go back someday.
I have yet to see a sea otter in Alaska. I got lots of really cool pictures of seals, but not a sea otter. The closest thing I came to a sea otter picture was in San Diego, in just off the coast of Monterey. And that's the only place when we were in California, we went to San Diego, went up to Monterey, and somewhere around there I found the sea otter, and I thought it was cool, but I could not get a good picture from it. And I had my 400 millimeter lens, I could not get it. So, but it's a great picture.
Thanks, John. Yeah, you can see them in Homer and Valdez and Stewart. It's just hard to get really close to them and catch them just right.
Yeah, I was too busy shooting eagles. I wasn't really looking for them that much, but I got a lot of eagle pictures in Alaska, so that's cool. Okay, here's the controversial picture.
This is a controversial picture?
Yes, it was, because I don't remember judging this picture.
Oh, no, I remember judging this picture. I have trouble, again, seeing because I feel like it's dark. I think this is probably at the time of day that's like the blue hour or early in the morning. Maybe it's just a little underexposed, but it seems to me like it's, the light is subdued, so it's probably at sunset or sunrise. I wish it were brighter. It appears to me that this bird is in beautiful focus from what I can tell. But again, I feel like it's dark, so I can't really see. And I would like to see it cropped a little tighter. Otherwise, I think it's terrific. Like I said, it's a nice capture, but I wish I could see the detail a little better.
Is this a waxwing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, hard to tell.
No, you can't tell at this angle because generally you can tell because of the tuft on top, but I think it's the markings underneath the beak and across the eyes. It's kind of like, I don't know if you saw Charles' picture last couple of days with the one that had wearing his sunglasses on. Yeah, that's what that's waxwing has, that dark mark across the eye. It looks like sunglasses. Right. It's really cool. But
right.
Yeah, this is called bird watching, and it's Ken Ramsey. Scored a 16.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit dark. That's that was my hardest part about it too, was just a little bit too dark.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, the twigs, add something to it. I just wish it were cropped a little tighter too.
Yep. Okay. Eric, I guess this is yours.
Yeah. Yep. I really like this image. What was the title of it?
Oh, this is called Cedar Cones. Sorry.
Cedar Cones. No, that's okay. I loved the image, and I love the fact that you've got detail up at the top of it and at the bottom. You're just, they were working with their depth of field, and I like how some things are popping here and there, and others are just blown out in the background. But you get an idea of the detail of everything just because it's a pattern along each of those branches. So I really like that. And these they kind of look like the giraffe eggs to grow John's, giraffe trees a little bit later.
Yeah, that's true. They do. These are giraffe seeds.
Giraffe seeds. Yeah, there we go.
You're right.
Sorry, I just had to make the connection. But really, really like the image. Who's the maker?
This is Patrick Murray's picture.
Really cool, Patrick.
And it was an honorable mention.
What I like too is I like that these seeds kind of come down in this sort of slightly wavy line through the middle of the image too. Yeah. So it really sort of draws your eye along too. I think it's just nicely done.
It draws a really nice line, and it's really well lit. I know this is outside, so the lighting on it is just right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, these are the things that make you sneeze in cedar season.
Yeah.
So basically the things that I hate, this is the stuff that creates all those little yellow clouds that puff everywhere. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, right near their clothes. and then as they mature, they'll pop open.
Oh yeah,
Yellow
I've seen
dust
them
will
pop.
Now that I know that, I'd like to change my score, please.
Me too.
No, unfortunately, I knew what they were.
This one's getting a -5 from me, Patrick. Sorry.
I mean, when you're driving down I-10 between here and anywhere, Fredericksburg, you go through there and you can see all the yellow trees on the side of the road. That's exactly what you're looking at, man. But nope, that's really cool.
Thanks.
Okay, this one is called Shaver Lake. This is a great picture, perfect picture. It's got I love the detail and the textures of the woods and the plants back. You've got the lake in the background. You've got it perfectly framed looking through the log. This is just a picturesque picture, typical travel log picture with good clouds in the sky, and you can see the lake in the background and the trees framing it. Not much I can say. I mean, this is a great picture. It's a Peter Forzak picture, of course.
Yeah.
Also the first place picture.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Well done, Peter.
Good job, Peter. Yeah.
Yeah. Composition is fantastic.
Yes, excellent.
I'm going to turn my
Pardon?
on. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Was Trish?
Oh, just thank you.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I wasn't quite sure what was happening, what Pete was saying there. Did this image just get really big? No? Okay. All right. Okay. I like the detail in this image that you have this lily, this one lily that's kind of this bright spot in this dark background. I think it really makes it pop. I think that the lily is nice and crisp and clean. I see the edges on a number of those lily pads, which is terrific. I just think it's a nicely handled image. Who did it?
It's Steve Manchester.
Nice job,
This
Steve.
was third place.
Is this in your backyard?
No, that's down on the San Antonio River at Breckenridge
really?
Park. Not too far. It's upriver from the rookery down there.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
really.
I never noticed lilies on the San Antonio River.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, if you start out at the rookery, you know where all the egrets are, and you go upriver, you see a lot of these. In fact, there's so many of them. In some places, they just choke. They're like choking the whole river.
I
So
guess I'm
it's
not
kinda
walking
nice.
that part of the river.
It was nice to see this.
When they're
one.
clean them out,
Iceberg.
sometimes to get rid of them because they.
What time of the year did you take this picture?
Pardon?
What time of the year did you take this picture?
It was June. It was June or July this past year.
Yeah, I need to go walk that.
Yeah, it's in the morning. I think around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And the sun looks like it's just catching those petals on the far side, and it's not catching the petals on the near side. I thought that really made a nice effect.
Absolutely.
If I say so myself.
Yeah.
I wonder how long during the year they bloom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
They happened to be out when I was there. What was the score on that one, please?
It was 20.
20. Thank you.
So I wonder if I'll get in trouble for putting waders on and taking a tabletop down in the middle of the river to get a shot.
You move fast, you know. By the time they get someone out there, you could be gone.
True.
Do you need a partner in crime?
You'll just be taking pictures of me trying to get out of the water, so I know how that'll work.
Rats.
All right, moving on. Eric.
All right.
Rocky Mountain Buck.
Rocky Mountain Buck. Well, he is either just having his lunch or getting ready to walk towards you, but yet again, one of those images where it's just, popping off and coming out of the screen towards you. I really, really do like the image. He's good and sharp. Just wish I could be in the right spot to capture pictures like this. Not sure where this is at. Hopefully the person who took it is going to be here to tell us. But who's the maker?
Trish.
Trish, good shot.
Thank you. That's at Rocky Mountain Park. And there are deer all over the place. You just got to hike a little bit, or you'll see them all over the place.
Very nice.
Thank you.
It looks like to me, it looks like he's mad because you interrupted his lunch.
He does, doesn't he? I think he's eating, actually. I think he looked up from eating, because I don't remember feeling threatened by him at all.
That's good.
Nice. This is ant attack June bug. Oh, ants attack June. Ants attack June bug. And this picture, I'm going, God, I've seen this picture before. But I don't know if anybody knows the rules of this or not, but if you have a picture that you enter in a category and it does not win or does not place, you are allowed to re-enter that picture in another category. So I don't remember which category this was entered in before. I think it was in monochrome. It was in black and white. But the ants and the June bug, it's really a good picture. It's the ants are sharp, and you've got the kind of the loss of the focus of the ground in the background, and you've got its focus in the front. And the ants on the ground are actually sharper than the ones as you go up the body. They kind of lose focus, but it's still a very good picture and very sharp picture. This was a Tim Kirkland picture. It scored 17.
Yeah, I would have liked the ants that were the sharpness of the ants on the ground to be on the June bug, because that's really where my eye is drawn. But I would agree with you.
Yeah. So it's an interesting capture. It's I don't know if I want to get close to ants. I mean, they don't look like fire ants, but
yeah, that one on the abdomen that's clear, you can see his head and those pinchers looking at you. Yeah, no thanks.
Oh yeah. I don't want to get bit by one, but anyway. Muscovy duck.
Whose turn is it?
It's my turn or no? I just did the ants.
You just did the ants. Trish.
Trish, my turn?
Trish.
Okay.
Trish gets the duck.
All right, I get the duck. Okay. I think this is a nice capture. He's in the middle of flapping his wings and I guess getting busy there. I like that I don't get too much background noise. I love that there's just enough of blur kind of in the background that's not too distracting. I wish that the white on the wings on the left-hand side, there's an area that's kind of blown out that I would like to see a little more detail in. But other than that, I think it's a nice capture. Who's the maker?
This is Tammy. My only comment about it is, to me, is it looks like it's kind of loose. I know it's at an angle, but the right wing is a lot defocused. It's not as in focus as the left wing is.
The left, yeah, I would agree.
And the head is in good sharp focus, and then it kind of loses focus as it goes down the body. So I don't know where the focus point was, or maybe they needed multiple focus points or something to try to get a plane across there so that's in all of it in focus. It might have been better, I think, also crop square. Or
I agree. I should have mentioned that. Actually,
off the top
you
and the
lose
bottom.
that whole left side. Yeah, I agree.
All right. Travel. Hard category. Is it my turn again? No. Eric, is it your turn?
I think it's Eric's.
Is Eric here? Or is this another one
You're
of those
muted,
pictures?
Eric.
How about not being on mute? That's always a help. Picturesque travel scene. Wish I was able to be in the same spot and capture that. Just really, really fantastic image. That's why John was right. This was a tough night to score because there's so many good images, and this group of images is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, we had six images. Yeah, 6 images all scored the same.
Yeah.
So travel was a tight category.
Fantastic shot, well handled. Everything that needs to be in focus is in focus. You could put this on a postcard and sell it wherever this, wherever this is taken at, and you sell 1,000 of them. Who's the maker?
This is Charles Freeman. It scored 21. It's actually in third place after several rescores and in and outs. What the thing I really liked about this picture, and the first thing I noticed right off the bat, is you see the two guys standing down there looking up at the mountains. If you look right and straight in front of them, you'll see a white dead tree leaning over that's white, pointing up at the mountain.
Exactly.
Exact location, how they're looking. And I thought that, wow, that is just a perfect capture of they're looking up, the trees pointing up, like, look at here.
Yeah.
Well, and just the slope of the mountains come down at this line. Those people add perspective, that pop of red. Yeah, this one caught my eye immediately. I just think it's a super strong image.
Yeah. It's one of those several rescore in and out things. So
yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Anyway, got third place.
My turn.
Raising Old Glory. Is this mine?
It's yours.
Okay. Yeah, this is a balloon shot, which is kind of cool. And I think this is, they usually fly the flag at the very beginning of a flyover or a takeoff. And this is the balloon flying the flag. And it's like early in the morning and everybody's out there. You can see the people taking pictures of the balloons going up. I'd say probably Albuquerque, if any place. I think it's a great image. I can't really say anything that I would do any different to it because it's, it's well framed. You've got the composition is good. The balloon's on the third line. The horizon's on a third line. So you can't really, I can't find anything wrong with it. So it's an excellent image. And this was Dick Boone. And it was scored at 20.
Nice job, Dick.
Nice, Dick.
What was Albuquerque?
It didn't place because it lost scores. But anyway, this was the hardest category of the night by far.
Yeah, it was.
Well done, Dick.
Big Bend Tree.
Yeah, this is my turn. I love this image. It's really striking. I love that mountain kind of framed underneath that dead old tree. I love the shadow in the tree, that pop of cloud. I think it's great that sky isn't blown out, which often happens. I might have cut a little bit of that scrub off of the bottom. That's the only thing I would change about this image. I think it could lose some of the bottom of that image where the scrub is. But other than that, I think it's just a really fun image. And it's hard for me to tell, again, because I can't really blow this up. I don't know if that mountain could be a little sharper. I think it's probably okay. It's hard for me to tell, but I just think this is really fun. And I love the way it's, the composition with that tree, it just draws your eye right into that spot, which is, I think, the idea. Who's the maker?
Eric.
Eric, I love it.
So Peter, please also go retake this shot. I'd appreciate you.
Great shot, Eric. I'm not sure what
dropping off.
If I do, I'll probably crop a little bit off the bottom.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Crop it off the bottom.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I don't know how you're probably going to have to blow real hard to get the clouds to make the same formation.
Yeah, I just think.
I know exactly where the tree is because of the mountain that's in the background. So it's kind of, I think I've actually taken a picture of this tree.
All you have to do, Eric, is take this stuff and lay it on a table.
I have 2 weeks to try.
Lay it on a table, light it up, and it's going to be perfect.
There we go. Yeah. Dick, you were saying something, and I missed what you were saying.
No, I just said bad news that the tree fell over last week.
Oh, jeez. That's terrible. Well, now I can get it to the tabletop.
Yeah.
I haven't been down to Big Bend in quite a while.
Eric, you take this one and then we'll be back in rotation again.
Not a problem. Love these guys, and I think it was Lassie and
Lass and Lassie.
Lass and Lassie were the comments. Just love these guys. Yet again, stuff popping off the screen, just jumping onto your, out of the screen and onto your tabletop here. Colors are fantastic. Lighting is on par. There's not a bright highlight anywhere in the scene. You couldn't ask for a better travel photo. Who's the maker?
That would be me.
John, well done.
John, I have a love affair with coos anywhere. I just think they're the cutest animals on the planet.
Yeah,
I think this is just a fun capture, and I love the colors. It just pops right out.
Well, this was actually taken on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And
where?
Yeah, it was right at the very beginning, just outside of Nashville, South Carolina. But it's there's a little farm out there, and you don't see Highland cattle
no, you don't.
in the U.S. that often. But there are some places, and this just happened to be a Highland cattle farm.
That's amazing.
And they were coming in, and it was taken in a fall, I think a couple of years ago. You can see the trees starting to turn color in the background, but it was just a fun trip, and I really loved it. And I love these guys because I fell in love with them when I was in Scotland. So.
Yep. Well done.
Yeah,
thanks.
Really woolly.
I'd have to ask the maker on this one because I like this picture. It's called At Prayer. And I don't know, you can tell the people are kneeling and praying in front of this. It's almost like the Stations of the Cross laid out in a big circle. And the different portions of the Christ's life laid out there. And I've never seen this laid out before in this way. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of very unique, and it's a great picture. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I can't tell if it's there here or not. See a little bit more of the top. I have this bar across the top of my screen, but the full circle, I would like to have seen just a picture of it with maybe one person's kneeling right in front with straight on or something. It would be a very unique picture. And Patrick, where is this?
This is at the San Juan Shrine in San Juan, Texas.
Wow.
It's the thing in the middle. I'm pointing at the screen. I don't know if you can, but the little statue in the middle is a statue of the Virgin of Los Lagos, which is from Mexico, and they brought it up and put it there. And a lot of people do pilgrimages here and stuff, and you know, it's interesting you talk about getting more of the top. So they have this thing here where people kneel down and pray, and in back of that there's a long bench, which is where I'm sitting. And this isn't a church, right? So I was really uncomfortable about taking a picture here. So I had my camera on my lap, and this is just beautiful shot. And I wasn't even looking at the viewfinder. It was just sitting on my lap, and I took the shot, and I just got lucky. But yeah, I just felt really uncomfortable about taking pictures of people in a church, you know. But and it just, I lucked out the way that it turned out.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I take a lot of pictures in churches, and I'm not embarrassed at all. I won't stand up and do it, but by God, I take the picture I want. But this, I would love to go see this in person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. The whole complex is beautiful, and they have the Station of the Cross outside with life-size statues and stuff. It's really pretty.
Mm. Very cool. Very interesting. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
It scored 20. So there's another one of those. Never mind. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of 20s in this group.
Is it my turn again?
I guess. Hiking to the White House.
I completely love this image. And one of the reasons is because I felt like it screamed travel category. And it made me want to go there. I love the wispy clouds. The exposure is fantastic. It's this hiker ahead of you gives a sense of perspective as far as size goes. And I like the angle of that trail, kind of draws you into this image. I like the lines of the mountain, the details of the mountain. Everything about this made me want to go there, which I felt encapsulates the whole category. And the colors are just, I think, perfect. I loved everything about this image. Who made it?
It's a Peters.
Peter's great.
There, I think.
Very nice.
Well done, Peter.
Big Ben too?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's just.
What's that?
Is this Big Bend as well?
This is Paladuro, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, that's
Paladuro. Right.
Paladuro. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Lighthouse Rock. The Lighthouse Rock is Paladuro Canyon. I knew who it was Peters because I know the lady walking down the pathway.
Is that Miss Kim?
Yep.
I'd recognize that butt anywhere. No.
Yes.
No, because it's always she's got her backpack on and she has that hat. It's just cool. You know it's her. So.
Good shot.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. What's the name of this one?
Oh, this is let's see. We have this is the Seine River.
Yeah.
This was the French version of the Mexican one at the beginning.
Yeah.
We had this long talk about speaking French and
Spanish and everything
Spanish,
else.
Yeah.
I love this photo. I mean, it is the bridges all at their different intersections and the river flowing from one corner down here in the bottom right all the way up there out the top left. I mean, it cuts and dissects the picture and just the industry around it, the buildings and everything, but the detail, you're looking and there's little details everywhere. It's a great travel photo. Who's the maker on this one?
This is Steve Manchester.
Steve, great photo.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
For me, it's a detail. There's just so much detail in this photograph.
Thank you. So this was taken from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, looking down from the Eiffel Tower.
I mean, because you're just missing a plane because it's plane, trains, and automobiles. You've got ships, you've got the railroad tracks there on the left side, you've got cars everywhere. Just really fantastic.
Thank you. There's even some motorcycles down there if you look really close.
Yep.
Right down here in the bottom left.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this next picture is another part of our language lesson for the evening. This is Italian, I believe.
So John, what was the score on my photo back there?
Now this one's one of yours, Steve.
Yes.
Yeah, what was the score, John?
Oh, what was the score? I gotta find it again. It was a 19.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll take this one because this is the Italian one. La Passa Giada, whatever the heck it is. This is a great street scene. You get all the people walking down the street. It's one thing about walking through different cities in Europe. They block off streets for people to walk on with no cars, which is kind of great to get pictures of buildings and people and involved in street photography. I love how the colors of the buildings, the sky would have been better if it had been a little bit bluer. But I think it was great. I like the flower pot that's hanging on the side of the building on the right-hand side. Wish it had some flowers in it, but I can read the bar. I don't have to speak Italian to see that it says bar down there. So it's good and sharp, but it's an excellent image. I love it. It's a great street photography. This is one of Trisha's. I guess this is when you were in Italy.
It is, and that's an iPhone pic too. And it's the name of it is La Passeggiata, and basically in Rome, They have massive sections of the center of the city that are completely closed off to street traffic. You know, you might occasionally find, you know, a single vehicle, you know, somewhere, but by and large, and that's what La Passeggiata means. It means the walkway. And at basically at sunset, you will find, I mean, during the daytime too, but Romans go out and walk the streets, and they go to dinner and they shop and it's really a beautiful time of day, and particularly at sunset like this, because everything glows. It really glows. It's absolutely beautiful.
Can you still walk around Rome and drink wine as you're walking?
I believe so. I'm not a wine drinker, but I went with my two sisters, and they're beer drinkers. And the funny thing we discovered was, if you wanted to sit down and have a beer, they might charge you $8 for it. But if you ask for the beer to go out the door and walk on the street with it, it costs you $1.25. So you paid to sit down, basically. So I'm assuming you can walk around with wine, because you can walk around with beer everywhere, you know, so. And, you know, it's like Paris or anywhere else. They serve wine more than they serve a soft drink.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's, I mean, in Europe, beer is everywhere.
Cheap and everywhere. Yeah.
You go to breakfast, you get a beer. You go to lunch, you get a beer.
Right.
So you get a snack, you get a beer. Going through Germany, it was beer everywhere. In Italy, to me, it was wine. I love wine, so I love Italian wines.
This is a
great picture. This was one of those. It scored a 21. This is one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 21s that went in and out, and round and about. And anyway, it didn't score. It didn't place. So, and I couldn't tell you which one it lost out to, because there's several here.
There were so many.
There were so many. I know.
Really, this was a tough category.
Yep. Yellowstone.
Trish, I think this is you.
Yeah, you're.
Okay, I will tell you that this was another image I really loved. It was so moody. First off, I love that this is shot almost like a panorama, the way it's cropped. I think that was a super good move. It's fantastic. You don't get too much sky. You get right down to that beautiful colored grass, that nice fog, you know, the dead tree in the center there. I think the water snaking through, and that S curve is really catchy for the eye. It takes your eye all the way through this image. I just think this is top notch from A to Z. And it get extra points for color for me. Those colors just pop and they scream at you. It's really fantastic. Whose is this?
This is Tim Kirkland's, and this is also first place.
I
think this was one of the highest scoring images of the night.
I love it. And I think that cropping, you know, really does it. It's not too tall. It's obvious that it's cropped way low for that real kind of wide, flat image. And I think that was really wise. Yeah, it's great.
Well done. It's well done, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah.
This is Strip Entertainment.
All right.
Is you, Eric?
Yeah, I think that's me.
Okay.
I definitely got a feel for, you know, with the neon for where we were. I would have liked a little more detail. Is the only problem I really had with the picture. You know, you can see the flying zip line sign there, but I had and it looks like, I believe it was shot as a fisheye type of photo. But I would have liked a little more detail in the, you know, in the surrounding. Just, you know, I had a hard time with a little bit of the sense of where I was at first. So who's the maker on it?
And this is Tammy. It scored 18. I agree with you, because I was trying to figure, because this is in Vegas, and it looks to me like that's the Ferris wheel in the background, that big. I don't know what
that's what I thought that was.
But I don't remember a zip line being down there in between the buildings. by where this leads down into, because past this flying Q is where you get the tickets to get on this wheel. And I don't remember a zip line being there. So this is taken after the last, since, I don't know, that's been 3 years since I've been to Vegas. So I don't know how long, when this was taken. But I don't remember that. But it's still, again, I knew where I was, but I couldn't put everything together because it's a little dark. I think you can see from the neon on the lights of the first wheel and the flying Q and the casino that's on the right-hand side. And it's just interesting because I've been there. I know what it is, but I wish there was more detail and brighter in the depth so you could get more idea. Mm-hmm. I don't know about, it might have been a fisheye or a very wide angle.
Yeah.
There actually is a zip line, goes right down the middle.
But I don't remember that. Was that new?
Well, a couple of years ago when I was there, it was there.
Okay.
And this has to be a fisheye. I mean, just look at the angles of things here.
Yeah. We're going to have to go back to Vegas so I can see. Because the only one I know at the zip line in Vegas I know of is the one on Fremont and down the Old Strip. So.
Oh, well, that's what I'm talking about. So you're saying this is probably not Fremont?
No, this is not Fremont that I'm aware of, no. The big the neon circle in the background is that big sky Ferris wheel that they have. And they got the cars on it. It holds like 20 people. It takes an hour to go all the way around it. And that's what I think it is anyway. I don't know where it could be anywhere else. I think there's only one in Vegas, though.
And Fremont, I know, is normally much more lit up all over the place.
Oh God,
yes, that's true.
Yeah. Very garish.
Couldn't be Reno, huh?
I don't know. I know that.
Too bad Tammy's not here.
Yeah.
Ken and Tammy went to Vegas for a wedding conference or something last year, or
Okay.
year before last. Year before last, I think it was. I don't know. I guess this is me. Yeah.
Yes.
Academy of Coastal area. Probably either taken from a plane or with a drone. But I really like how it is. You got the mountains in the background. You got the green valley with the little river running around the edge or whatever, wash the ocean, the shoreline, and the mountains all combined into one. You have the best of all the worlds. You've got green pastures, you've got playing in the sea and surfing, and then you can go mountain climbing and go skiing all in one place. Probably do some fishing in the river. This is a very great travel scene. Very well done. It's a little hazy, but that's could be from the height. I don't know if this was taken from a plane, maybe a plane window. So you get a little glare off the window sometimes, or fog off the window. But it's a great composition and good image. This was Jack Smith, and it scored. Oh, it's another one of those 19s, which is so many 19s. This is the last of the travel images, but all these pictures, the scores were 19, 20, 21, and 123.
Yeah.
Okay, and we had rescores, we had in and outs, we had battles.
Rescore and in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, this one had 1, 2, 3, 4 in and outs, and then we had to go back and rescore because there were 3 of them at the same score. So. Very interesting category. It was really good. Very well done. Probably one of the best travel categories we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, the mighty assignment. We're almost done.
Still going on.
Who wants this one?
It's almost on it. Sandra.
I guess Trish.
It's my turn?
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And this was the assignment category, right? Which is a household item.
Yeah, this is household item. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a little baby cradle. I think it's a nicely exposed. It's beautifully sharp. I like the angle, but I'm not sure about this line across the bottom. I don't know how you can get rid of it, but I found it distracting. I don't know why. And I might have liked to see a little more depth into the baby cradle, maybe a little higher position. But you can see the wood texture nicely. You know, I don't think it's blown out. I feel like it's got a lot of light coming straight overhead. And I don't know if that could be controlled. So there's a lot of shadow. But overall, I think it's pretty nicely handled. Who's the photographer?
This is Dick Boone, scored 17. I mean, this looks like it's a display in inside of a house. And so you've got the overhead lights that are shining down on it, and that's to be expected. I think I agree with you, though. I think a higher angle would have been better to kind of take out the dark thing in the left-hand corner and the line on the right-hand side to get a better depth of it. But I love the textures and the concrete around the bottom and the end of the wood. It's very well done.
It was really tight in there. It was just back in this little corner, and you couldn't really get away from all of, like the lower right-hand corner and all that. It was really rough, and you couldn't get right up on it. They had a rope around it to keep you from getting too close.
Yeah, sometimes we're limited to working with what we're stuck with, aren't we?
Yeah. I'll tell you one of the things that I have done in this situation before, not for here, but in a couple places. I did it once when I was in Rhode Island, is I had my camera on a tripod. I folded up the tripod in long legs and left it all put together, tilted my back lens on my camera. Then I raised my camera up in the air above my head on the tripod, holding it straight up and tilting it so I can see it, and then took the picture. Of course, I'm using a remote, but I can do it with my phone. It's kind of neat to do that, but a lot of people can't. I mean, this is back in the days when even I probably can't do it nowadays. I'm getting old. But no, it's a good picture.
No, they would not allow tripods in there.
Yeah, one of those, huh?
Uh-huh.
Don't you just hate museums?
They're not very accommodating.
No. See, it's Eric's turn, but I'll take this one. Dabs, cups, and saucers. This is another tabletop scene, which is really cool. And I liked how the colors, the different colors, the cups match the saucers, the way they're arranged, the lighting on it to show all of that, the dark around. My only problem with this picture was there's too much dark at the top.
See, I love that. I thought the negative space really made the color of that Fiesta ware or whatever it is, that dishware.
Well, I'm not saying there's not. I like the negative space. I'm just saying there's too much of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't have gone that high. I might have cropped it down a little bit to not into a square. No, it would have to be more into 5x7, 8x10, 11x14 type
16 by 9 probably would have been.
16 by 9, yeah.
Okay.
That's what that is right there, right? 16 by 9.
Right, but I'm talking 16 by 9. Turn it sideways and crop, just into the cups and saucers. Yeah. I was working on another project for another photo group that was dealing with negative space photos, and so this just fell into negative space.
Oh yeah, I think this is great. And I'll say once again, Eric, you stage your still life stuff so beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just really well staged.
I think we're going to have a tabletop staging process with Eric. We're going to have to
say that for a year
with Robert. We're going to have an editing session with Peter. Who else wants to volunteer stuff? Anyway, we got to do all that. So
yeah.
No, anyway, that's a second place right there. That's 20 points.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
It was had to be rescored, and it rescored at 21, and beat out me. So anyway.
Not that you've taken it personally or anything, right, John?
No, I don't take it personally, but Eric can take this one.
I'll take this one. Great photo, great concept. I love the three forks staying there, and then you get the perfect reflection of them down below it. The shadows are really well done. I like every bit of this. I actually had something similar in my mind to shoot the similar picture, but this is really well done. And John, I'm going to assume that this is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
I had a lot of fun playing with forks. I did several pictures with the forks, and when I was going to enter, I didn't. I had the forks all stacked in the reflection, made it look like a leaf, so I hit it with a green filter.
Oh, nice.
I turned the forks green, then I put a red strawberry in it. And I think I posted it on Facebook. But that was the one I was going to enter. Then I did this one, and I said, no, this would be good. This was actually going to be my black and white. But anyway,
I think it's fantastic. It's funny you're saying, Eric, that you almost did this too, because I almost did something like this as well. I never would have done anything nearly as good as this because I don't know anything about lighting. And I get frustrated and I give up early. But I think this is really fun. And the category next month is reflections, John.
Yes, I know. And that's why I thought
about this. I love that you have the shadow and then you have the reflection and its shadow. So you also get this pattern. There's just so much I like about this. I really love it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of work, and I think we went to a museum once of one of a very famous photographer who had done several pictures with spoons.
Forks and spoons and
Yeah, and let me tell you, the things you can get from the reflections of spoons, you can actually get reflections in the spoon reflected back at you. So it's kind of cool. I was trying to do the same thing with the forks, but the highlights, I don't have the lighting. This was actually done with just one overhead that I'm holding with my hand, and I got my camera on the tripod and I just snapped a picture. So
what is the surface? Is that a tabletop that's shiny or
no? It's a piece of glass.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's nice. 11 by 14 piece of glass.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's really cool is leaning the forks on glass. Yeah. They're actually taped down and you don't see the tape.
So the background is what, just like poster board or?
It's white poster board. I have a piece of black and I have a piece of white. Okay. I did it once on black and it turned out kind of grayish, like the bottom. On the bottom is the black turns to gray. So, and I didn't get the good shadow. So I just flipped it around and I did it with white.
So this is glass on the bottom, just a clear piece of glass.
Yep.
And then white poster board. And the clear piece of glass, is that just sitting on your tabletop?
It's sitting on a piece of black poster board on the top of the table.
Okay, so it's a black poster board too. Okay. You see what I mean when I said mine would not have come out like this? Because I don't know what I would, I would just get out there and try.
I got the idea from Jim Lander's photo tournament. He had one on something with fruit. And what I did was I did exactly the same thing, except I took grapes and strawberries. I know Susie went to the store and bought a whole bunch of bananas and all kinds of stuff. And I took it and I'll put it on a piece of glass, put a blackboard behind it, took a picture, took first place in Jim's photo tournament.
That gives me something to play with when I'm stuck in the house. That sounds great. Thanks for sharing those details.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to cut and run, folks, but I'm getting pretty tired. So.
All right, Dick. Yeah, we're going to be done here shortly anyway.
Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Have a good night, Dick.
Yeah.
Good night, Dick.
Good night.
Whose turn is we back to me again?
Yeah, it's back to you.
Okay. This is do not burn the toast.
No, wait.
I can't say I've ever seen a stainless steel toaster before.
It's probably my turn.
That's not commercial. Is it your turn?
Yeah, I think it's true because you and I switched. You and I
swapped. Yeah, you and I switched. Okay, Trish, it's yours.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about this one anyway.
Yeah. I love the details in the knob on this toaster. That's my favorite part. It pops right out. I feel like the toaster gets soft going back, and I am undecided on, in my mind, and I was when I saw this the other night, whether that sells this for me or if it holds it back. But I love the fact that the dishes in the back are there. You can clearly see this is for silverware and plate, and I love that that's all there in enough detail that you know what it is, but you can't see it crystal clear because it makes the toaster the center of attention. But I feel like parts of it are a little soft, except for that knob. I love the light play on the toaster. I think the cropping is terrific on this image. It really brings your eye where it needs to be. Who's the maker on it?
This is Jack Smith. It scored 17.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of a very cool. It's like I said earlier, I've never seen a stainless steel toaster except for large commercial ones. And
I have one too.
Sitting next to a stove, and the black stove reflecting kind of takes some of the glare off of it, but really makes it stand out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and is it just me that it gets a little soft toward the top leather?
Towards the back.
Yeah.
As it goes towards the back. Yeah.
But I think that softness really sells the rest of the picture. You know, where the plate is and the silverware or whatever's in those baskets. I think that really sells that part. I just wish that the top part of that toaster were a little more.
Because of the type of picture it is, it's going to be very hard to get the toaster sharp front to back without. Right. Because if you do that, then you're going to have everything on the right-hand side and the left-hand side
exactly
be also sharp.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless you do focus stacking or some other thing like that. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And what was the name on this one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Something that doesn't fit.
I think it is too big.
Yeah. Too big, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely outgrown his hat. The only thing I had was I would have liked to have seen more of the hat, the detail in the hat. So I like the fun of the skeleton in there, but I would have liked to have seen the hat just kind of at an angle on the table just there, because I really like the deep detail in the right around the brim, just, I want to say the rope or whatever piece that's there, the texture in the folds of the hat and everything. So I that's how I would have liked to have seen the picture. Like I said, the skeletons is fun and adds a little to it, but the way the hat is with the crinkles there, it looks like the face of the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter. Oh, yeah. So I would have liked to have actually seen the hat laid there without the addition. That's what I would have liked to have seen in this. And who's the maker?
This is Ken, I believe. Yeah, Ken Ramsey.
Yeah. I would have liked the detail in the hat more myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun image, but like I said, I would have liked to have seen the hat.
Yeah. Too bad our hat connoisseur was not a judge.
I thought it was yours, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was Robert's. I said, no, the skeleton. I think I know who that belongs to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's
nice hat.
All right. Great minds think alike. I almost did this image with my forks, except I didn't have any eggs. The stores were out of eggs. We finally got eggs today. But anyway, this is a great image. I love it. Because getting the forks together and putting the egg on top and balancing between the tines is really cool. The only thing I think I would have liked to have seen, and one of the things I tried to do, I did it with the strawberry, was to get the shadows of the tines interwoven on and below the forks as well, instead of off being the side. I'm still a great image, but balancing the egg on there, and you get good detail on the fork. There's no highlights, there's nothing blown out. Shooting on white, and you got a lot of noise in the egg, but that's depends on the egg. It could be whatever it is, but it's just it's a very neat image, and it's a cool idea. And the fact that I almost did it, something just similar would have been really weird, because we always seem to think alike. This is Mr. Peter Florzak's picture.
Very nice.
Peter.
It is noisy on the egg, but when I first saw this Tuesday night, I was like, I kind of like that actually.
Yeah.
There's noise. There's a lot of grain in this image in general, but I think it really adds to it.
Yeah, I think that, because the only thing that I thought that I would have liked to have seen was, but I'm sure he had put the light in a certain way to get the light, to get the lighting on the egg and the shadow around the egg to show the roundness of it. But there's no real way of doing it. I didn't have a good time. I had a hard time playing with it, so that's why I didn't do it. And basically for the same reason I described, because I didn't like the shadows. But it's still a very good image. I like it. Good job, Peter.
Thank you. So what do they score?
You're still there? Mm-hmm. Is Peter still with us?
Yeah, he was asking what his score was.
Yeah, what's the score?
Oh, what is his score? God,
I'm sorry, what?
18. Cup of tea.
Is it back to me again?
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry. I love the simplicity of this image. I love the lines that are clear around this teacup. And you can see the tea bag in there, and the spoon. I would like to see a little more lighting in that lower edge, particularly on the left side. You lose some of the detail there. I would have liked to see a little bit of light along the edge of that saucer, I think, but I think it's a beautiful image. The colors pop. I think that black background really makes it stand out. I think it's a fun image. Whose is it?
This is Steve Manchester's honorable mention, scored 19.
Nice job, Steve. What are you drinking?
Thank you. I don't know what kind of tea that was. It was just something on the shelf.
It's nice. Yeah, I think the only thing I would like to see is a little more light in that lower left corner, I think. I think it's terrific otherwise.
Yeah, I could have put a reflector there.
Yeah, nice. Is this lit from sunlight from the side, from the right side?
Yeah, I think that's natural light coming in a window.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, very nice, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. This teacup and saucer was inherited by my wife from her grandmother. She had a bunch of unique one cup, one saucer that are like this, just beautiful pieces.
Yeah, it really is. It's striking.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, today you don't have a complete set. That's kind of interesting. The handle is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty unique. Yeah, that's the only one of the many that looked exactly like that.
I wonder if you had put hot water in there, would you have got some vapor rising off the top of it?
Well, it is hot water, and that's what I was trying for.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know why I couldn't see it, because I've done this before, and I could see the steam coming up, but I couldn't get it to work this time.
Well, you were not facing straight into the sun. If you had moved your body toward the left more, so that you had the sun coming, you were standing in the wrong direction to see the steam.
So the steam, the sunlight needs to come through the steam in order for you to capture it. Is that what you're saying?
Right, exactly.
Gotcha.
And I only know this because when I carry my trusty thermos in my car, I take the lid off, and it seems like every time I do, I get to a stoplight and the sun will come in depending on where I'm driving, and I see the steam, and I always pull over and take a picture of it. I don't know why. I have 800 pictures of the steam coming out of my thermos, but I do, because it's always fascinated me how the sun will catch it depending on how I turn the car down the road. And it just depends on what angle you are sitting in relation to the sun coming in onto your object. So
if you would have taken it out in the,
to the left, if you were standing more around the end where your tea bag tag is,
Yes.
you probably would have gotten the steam.
Okay. I'll have to try that.
or
That's
take it
just
out in
my
the
say
snow.
so.
If you
Take
take
it
it out
in
in
the
the
car,
snow,
Steve. Take it in the car. That's all I can tell you.
Okay, thanks.
all right. This is the greater. I fell in love with the colors immediately on this. I knew exactly what household item it was, and just the colors coming off of this just really drew me in. It's sharp, and the repeating patterns and everything else, but those colors are just fun. I don't know what disco this was taken at, but it's a great fun image. Who's the maker?
Oh, this is Trish.
Yeah, Trish. It was cool.
I mean, this would have been a great picture for the macro assignment.
Well, it's funny. I almost did this for the macro.
Yeah.
What gives it all that color is you see in the corners, you see there's a little fabric. I saw a video some months back about a guy who does this abstract photography, and he had this great big metal spoon that he was reflecting fabric off of, and he had taken like an old blanket, like a serape. You guys know what that is? Robert knows what that is, right? All the wild colors. Well, he had laid this big metal spoon on this serape and shined this light on it. So he got all the reflections from the fabric. And then he took that image and he went into Color Pro or something else and did all kinds of stuff like solarization and way beyond my pay grade. But I was really fascinated by what he did. So my girlfriend had shown a photograph of a blouse that she had made with some vintage fabric that someone gave her. And it was this fabric, and it's got all these beautiful colors. And I said, if you have a scrap of that left, I want it. And so I went over and picked it up, and that's all that is the fabric reflecting on the metal of that cheese grater. That's all that is. With the light
good enough to get first place, by the way.
Yeah, hey.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Nice job.
Very good picture.
Yeah.
I need to be leaving, so wish you luck.
This is the last one anyway, so.
Okay, good night.
Okay.
So this is Mom's China, which is kind of interesting that the way you have to cup the saucer, the plate on top of the doily, on top of probably, I think this is the same Lazy Susan that they had the hat and skeleton sitting on. Yeah. But I mean, it's an excellent picture. I like the way it's set up. Everything's good and sharp, and good composition, framed nicely. Great picture. This was Tammy.
Nice job, everybody.
What?
Thanks.
Nice job, everybody.
Yeah. Good photos.
That's all, folks.
It was a tough. It was a tough night to judge. It was so much. I mean, everybody did such a great job. So good job. Kudos all the way around to everybody.
Definitely.
There we go. We don't have very many people left, do we?
Okay. Nice to see your face there.
Patrick. Good night.
Bye, Patrick.
We had somebody show up. I have no idea who that was. Clifton Klein or something?
You can stop recording
Was
too.
it Kerry Klein?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Clifton.
Yeah, he had to leave. Yeah, I met him